with the support on the deer, but I also think Mr. delivered quite a lot of sheep over to VortiX. So VortiX is gonna have an extra amount of sheep there in order to support his economy early on. We see double stables now, so that means that that's gonna be a lot, and I mean a lot of knights gonna come out here in the feudal age from Lucifron, and with a lot of knights, he's gonna be able to contest the boar very easily, and we do see a mill here from Mista coming out next to VortiX's Archon Chapel, so very likely we'll still see cattle. I mean, that's what I said. I think cattle, if you still go for it, it does still make the most sense with the HRE. Doesn't make too much sense with China, but with the HRE, you can still kind of see it. 40% bonus on the gathering rate is still better than 20% bonus on the pickup, just because with the pickup, the gather rate is still really, really slow.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in last weekend on Golden Swamp, actually, Mystic committed fully to like a really crazy trade boom sling style gameplay where he didn't really make units, but was just distributing massive amounts of resources while doing the cattle sling to the HRE player. I feel like we might see something similar here where I'm not convinced he's going to be making a ton of units early. I don't think we're seeing that FC from him just yet, but maybe soon. But yeah, he's definitely supporting the Burgrave here. Again, not as strong as it used to be, but still very good to do to just make sure that your HRE player has food under the Aachen, right? That's still something that HRE can benefit from, right?
And instead of just slinging cows, he also just pretty much gave him all the sheep that he found with his scout. I think he's just going to use cows himself and then just send the sheep over. But yeah, we do have the Burgrave here coming in. And this is a really good timing for the Burgrave Palace. Even with the 100 wood investment at the beginning for the outpost, he's still getting a really, really good timing in here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Abbasid just onto the second TC, adding some spearmen to deal with these Roost Knights. The Wooden Fortress on the boar build hasn't been punished fully yet. We could start to see dives, maybe, although you don't really like diving a Wooden Fortress with Knights.
I think it's going to be a fast castle age out of state. I'm not quite sure what he's going to transition into that fast castle age from, but yeah, it's a little bit weird to me that state is going for a fast castle age here. It feels like he's playing this like he would do in a 1v1, maybe some horse archers, but
yeah,
the horse archers aren't going to particularly do well in case Mista actually goes up with the Firma Garrison and then just produces like the javelin throwers.
Yeah, in terms of horse archers though, you also need wood for horse archers, right? Which is why I would have preferred knights here, because
you actually don't need a lot. They barely cost wood. They cost very little wood.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have any wood.
Yeah, but in just when you overall the wood cost for them is really minor in comparison to the food cost. So it's fine. Let's just put it like that. It's fine, even if there's not a whole lot of wood. Like they only cost 40. They're less than an archer.
I just don't think he's gonna get another forest. So I guess maybe it's gonna have to be crossbow after the first couple of horse archers out, because there's just knights circling his base. There's no way he's gonna get to another wood line.
Well, because
Expo might be the option.
Yeah, crossbows are gonna work really well against the knights from Lucifron as well. So crossbows is, crossbows is gonna be the go-to option. I mean, it's an immobile kind of unit, and you don't really want to have immobile units on Prairie. But I think it's going to be a good option here for him. It's a little bit unfortunate that he's going to be on the flank instead of the pocket position, so it's going to be a little bit long ways for him in order to support SortOf. But yeah, crossbows is going to be the way to go for him. But actually, no, he is going for the horse archers. After I thought about it, I was like, okay, is he going to horse archers? No, maybe it makes more sense to go for for the crossbows. But he does choose to go for the horse archers here.
Yeah, just needs some mobility, needs some way to deal with. Also, it's just nice or good against the men-at-arms.
Yeah, and it looks like the trade has been... I didn't think he would invest that much into trade that early on. I really expected a fast castle age and then into trade. But it looks like Mr. He's really confident in the amount of pressure that his two teammates can put on the enemy, and so he chooses to do it the other way around.
It makes total sense, though, right? He's against Abbasids. Like... Abbasids are so slow. Like, when are they going to punish this? Must they commit to feudal army, right? Like, before the TCs, I mean. Like, look at this. He's got 7 units. When was he ever going to punish a trade boom?
I think this only really works, though, because State is not committing to feudal age.
I guess, yeah, if State had knights, it would be riskier. But he's so far away from State. Like, would State really be punishing the trade right now, even if he had knights? Maybe.
It's
There's
difficult
definitely a
because the
chance.
HRE is also in between them. Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. Like the position there as well. I think Mr. I want to believe that Mr. still thought about going for fast Castle Age and then just saw, okay, the map is spawned like this and we spawned like this, so it's gonna be better for me to go trade. I don't want to believe that trade used to be on his mind from the very beginning.
Well, the way he played, oh, nice, good micro there from SortOf. But yeah, the way he played the Golden Swamp game was exactly like this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went to his point of view. He's probably also tributing VortiX resources. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's got like no income if we're on his point of view now. No, we're on Bruce. Yeah, never mind. Not super relevant, but yeah. Yeah, so he's just, I think, full tributing while he trade booms behind this, and eventually we'll see the Castle Age. But yeah, meanwhile, these Man-at-Arms from VortiX just absolutely shredding Abbasid. Abbasid, though, like we mentioned at the start, in the warm-up screen or whatever, they had
They can
they have
deal
the
with
Camel
it.
Archers. They can kind of hold the tide, but this has been an expensive hold, a lot of idle time. Meanwhile, there's nothing stopping this train of Man-at-Arms.
Yeah.
State grabbing 2 relics, nice for him. But about to run out of wood. Does he have another forest secured? Yeah, he has his wooden fortress by the boar. I guess he can move to there.
Yeah. Issue is though, like right now he's on 12 horse archers. His counterpart Lucifron has 40 knights.
Yeah.
And knights are just kind of like more of a power unit when it comes to the horse archers. And this is, I mean, a lot more value is being gained here from Lucifron, I think. And look at that, 38 traders out on
This
the map
game,
right now.
I don't actually know if there's a win condition anymore for Kimchi,
The win condition
right?
is notice that your opponent is trading. You've not seen anything from the Malian players right now. You have to realize that the Malian player is trading. And the question is, how do you actually stop him from trading right now? I mean, even if this isn't an optimal trade route, he's only walking across half the map instead of the entire map. He's still getting 100 gold from every single trip, and now the Farimba Garrison is coming up. And he has the economy to just produce non-stop out of it. So I think actually the window has already maybe closed by now.
I think that window is long gone. He's starting to wall up the trade as well, and there's still a train of men-at-arms just marching across the map from the burger. We got our ant colony, and there's the wood line secured for State. Gonna be able to hop inside the wooden fortress, but the knight's just gonna dive in, and yeah, this is tough when you don't have wood income on this map. Knights are just so important. I'm really shocked you didn't go knights, but the horse archers are there.
Yeah, I think so too. Just the knights,
anymore.
not going for knights is just, in this matchup, it's a mistake. I feel like you need to put on pressure as soon as possible against these civilizations, especially against HRE. You can't just let them free boom, because in 1v1s, sure, at some point the Man-at-Arms flood is gonna stop, or it's gonna pause, because they just aren't able to support the economy behind that. At least not at the beginning. Not in team games. With the sling, it's never gonna stop. It's gonna be non-stop push of these Men-at-Arms, and yeah, it's just important. It's confusing. I'm not sure why they're already on the cattle when he still has sheep, when VortiX still has sheep in range there, just because the cattle, they're not nearly as good as the sheep gathering wise.
Habits die hard.
It still
Old
works.
habits die hard. Yeah, it works. It's working. Like, you also don't want to spend too much time microing your vills and your like through your food bills. Yeah, this is
3,500 gold per minute. You can just have complete and utter full uptime on the Farim Garrison, and everything that you have left over, you're just gonna send to your teammates. You're just gonna send over to Lucifron, so you can just keep spamming knights out on the field.
You could afford 6 Farimba Garrisons. Like, like you can only trade like 2 batches per minute, right? So it's like you only need 1,000 gold. Like, you only need so much resources, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is nuts. And the Camel Archers, you can see why it's used in 1v1s to counter this, but counter, I say loosely, like it's just barely holding. Meanwhile, the Knights. Oh,
I actually held my breath for that one.
I died a little bit on that one because it didn't work, and like, State's just like trying to make horse archers into knights. He's up in age against his opponent, and it's just not enough. Another attempt. This one gonna get respected by Lucifron.
Thinking about it though, at the same time, I mean, economy-wise, this trade is not as efficient as it could be. Sure, he's overall getting, like, with the toll outposts, he's getting around 200 resources per trip roughly. Actually, no, more like 170.
75% more. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I mean, it's with the with the
Saharan,
sound
yeah,
trade.
so
Yeah,
it's-
so it's 80% instead of 75% bonus resources. So it's roughly like 170, 160 gold with every single one, and he's actually aging up to Imperial here. It's just so much resource. But I was thinking that at the same time, because it's not as efficient, but it seems like the efficiency is just enough here.
Yeah, and now Mista finally joins the fight. Look at, oh my god, look at his score. Yeah, he's just here. He's
The
here to
point-
party. The boom has paid off. The sling paid off. The strat works. And
Yeah.
I guess if you were a player and you were wondering, did this nerf work? Like, did the meta change from this change recently to the cattle not working as well for teammates to the changes to Malians? I think this might be a pretty definitive answer that it's still possible, right? You could
Yeah.
probably argue a couple of elements of execution. You could probably talk about civ choice on the side of kimchi enjoyers as well. Like, are you really pleased with getting a Basset in this picture? Maybe not, right? It hasn't played out as you expected. You're just under so much pressure here. The timing's just too late. But I don't know.
One that I was
Malian
wanting
on the
to get
table.
at is that with overall, the economy units, like Kimchi, actually are somewhat equal when it comes to the amount of economy units that they have out on the map. But yeah, it's just really, really rough right now. I mean, the traders are just more efficient, like every single trader. In this point, I don't think a trader here equals like 3 villagers. It's probably more like 2 villagers per trader. That doesn't work, right? Oh, it does work! Because I was wondering, because he didn't see like the symbol over the heads from the traders, but apparently it does still work, and traders can get converted, so I guess that's one way to deny a little bit of the trade. But however, the warrior monk is gonna go down, but at least now they know for sure that their opponents are trading, which I guess they should have already known, but just puts it into perspective. And now lots of villagers going down here on the deer. There's just a couple of men-at-arms, but the knights are just able to kill every single villager there. And now it's just looking rougher and rougher.
Yeah, Leenock has had a lot of time recently to boom though, so he's been relatively untouched. I think Lucifron has been mostly focused on state. There have been a couple of raids obviously on Leenock, but Leenock able to support now inside sort of space, and Leenock probably looking on a pretty healthy eco. Could be looking to go imp soon, maybe himself. But we'll see. The
issue...
English eco is going to be enough? I don't think so.
The issue that I'm seeing is that as soon... I mean, right now, Mista, he has the Fort of the Huntress. What he can do is just spam Musafadi warriors, and because of the influence of the... or like the buff from the Fort of the Huntress, the first attack from the Musafadi warriors does like 60 damage. You can just spam Musafadi warriors all day long, and they're gonna shred absolutely everything that your opponent can throw at it.
Yeah, and it looks like SortOf has collapsed now. He's sort of collapsed as he no longer has army. The horse archers are here, but it's just, 10 minutes too late to help against this flood from VortiX. And look at that sling 99 traders just sending 3,000 resources to Lucifron. So if Lucifron wasn't going Castle Age, he is now. High Trade House coming in. Oh boy. This is looking dominant. Like, this is just such a beautiful execution. Really well done. Building a hunting cabin next to the High Trade House. That's not how you want to do it, but not really relevant here. I don't think that's going to matter as this game kind of winds down. There's not really a lot of fight left. I mean, Leenock's going to maybe get one big hurrah, joined by these horse archers from State. But behind this...
What has just pointed out, I actually got to correct myself here. So it's not that the villager or the economy count is relatively equal. The traders actually count on top of what we actually see on the top there of the screen.
Plus 99. Yeah, they're up.
Yeah,
they're up like 100.
I didn't want to believe it because every single player on the side of Kimchi jjigae has like multiple TCs going for them. So I didn't really want to believe it, but yeah, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, no, this wasn't close. This is rough. Very, very rough. As that main TC is going to go down now to the HRE. And we should be seeing the sling to VortiX soon, just to upgrade all these men-at-arms, but
yeah,
I'm not sure it's relevant.
At this point in time, it feels like the coffin has already closed, and I mean, if you're ahead militarily and you're ahead this far economically, there's just no comeback there. We can see this big conga line coming out of VortiX's base. It's just the non-stop flood of units just running towards the other side of the map. And what does Leenock have here? He has longbows. He has a lot of longbows. He has just a couple of men-at-arms, a couple of crossbows. They're not gonna be able to deal with the archery men-at-arm flood. They haven't been able to do so for a while. Yeah.
So if it was a problem before, now they're gonna get all the upgrades. Yeah, this is just so painful, right? Like so painful if you're on the Kimchi Enjoyer's side here. Like this is looking rough. Now this line of teal dots across the map hasn't stopped once. There has not been a break to the point where you look at it and see it's a significant stopping. This has been going since like 8:40 when he hit Castle Age or whenever it was. I forget the exact time, but it was early. He had a really fast castle, and he's been doing this for 15 minutes now, just constantly spamming these. We finally see it. There's the GG.
Yeah, GG does get called, and now the second game goes over the way of Los Pollos Hermanos. 2-0 right now in the set against the Kimchi Enjoyers.
Devastating loss if you're Kimchi Enjoyers, right? You picked these maps expecting to win, right? These are their home maps, right? They wanted these open land maps. They wanted these aggressive games and aggressive strategies. And it just seems like they can't even get a footing in these games to where their civ timings line up to the point where they can even coordinate, right?
Yeah. And this, we gotta see the economy count now. Now, like right now, we're looking at the village account. We gotta see the economy count. I want to see a skyrocketing line from Mista here. There we go. There's a slight difference here in economy between the Mista and the other players. I'm not sure if you can tell. It's really subtle. Yeah, it's a really subtle difference there in the with the curve. It's my God, that's just.
I love how the graph just doesn't even understand, and it's over to. It looks like it's like at 220.
It's the cattle. The cattle count as economy as well.
But he had army, but like he didn't have 220 eco. Like he had army too. Whatever, not relevant. Statistics. Can we take a look at the resources gathered?
Oh man.
Because that's gonna be the.
I'm guessing HRE has like more food gathered than probably two opponents combined.